What is happening, guys, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. We are here with another part 2. Today we're looking at 10 more powerful Black Panther villains. I mean, you know why you're here, you clicked it. It's a part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, you can do it after. It's not a big deal, I won't tell. I'm your host, Taylor McWaters. Let's count them down. Kicking off the list at number 10, we have Venomm. That's Venomm with 2 M's, not to be confused with the other guy. Venomm, aka Horatio Walters, had a regular life until he made his first appearance in Jungle Action Volume 2, Issue 6, when Brandon Morgan, a not so pleasant fellow, threw acid in Horatio's face during a chemistry class. Yeah, eyewash stations will not help you at that point, I don't think, but still try it. Definitely spray your eyeballs out, wouldn't hurt. His life, of course, was changed forever as his appearance, but he grew a bond with snakes after that point. He felt like they were both treated the same. Horatio is a Slytherin, confirmed. He spent years becoming an expert snake handler, even becoming immune to most snake venoms. This guy would basically summon snakes and huck them at you. That's a terrifying villain, worthy enough to start this list off. And before we continue with this crazy list of Black Panther villains, if you want to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, no pressure, but please do it. It helps us out quite a bit. And also subscribe if you're already here. No pressure. Number 9. Baron Zemo. Baron Helmut Zemo is a former colonel of the Sokovian Armed Forces, and after the Avengers tore up Sokovia doing their Avenger Blasty Blast IMAX 3D stuff, he was hungry to get payback on Earth's mightiest for killing his family during the time there. He became a criminal mastermind. One of the earliest attacks on the team was framing Bucky Barnes for the murder of King T'Chaka. He was behind everything during Civil War. He actually succeeded quite well. As Steve and Tony were scrapping it out over the death of Tony's parents and Bucky being responsible for the whole spiel, the Black Panther T'Challa approached Zemo, reminded him that the living are not yet done with him, and had him locked up in the raft. Bam, you're going downtown, punk. In the comics, Zemo was the second Black Panther villain that ever went head to head with him, with Eric Killmonger, of course, being first, which we talked about in part 1, which you must check out after this. See, friendly reminder, we'll do it. Number 8. Nakia Shauku. Making her first appearance in Black Panther Volume 3, Issue 1, Nakia started out just like the rest of us, a fan of Black Panther. I mean, we get tickets to a midnight screening, you know, maybe throw a shirt on, get loud, clap in the theater. Nakia, on the other hand, well, she was literally obsessed. So much so that she drowned herself just so Black Panther would show up and save her life. So she's desperate, a little bit, I don't know, I'll say it, she's desperate. She would fantasize about marrying him openly to the public. She was once part of the Dora Milaje, one of the king's most fierce bodyguards, but her jealousy took over her eventually, and she attempted to kill the king's former lover. Jealousy, turning snakes into the sea. Maybe that other snake guy can come in and they could do like a whole... We connect the dots here, we got it. Now this obviously got her into some hot water and she was banished by Black Panther back to her home village. Sad days for sure, but it only gets worse for Nakia, because when she made a run for it and fled to her home, Nakia was found tortured and left for death from another Black Panther villain, Achebe, who I mentioned in part 1 as well. After that point, Nakia was resurrected and given a handy power upgrade from Eric Killmonger, where she would then go by the alias Malice. Number 7. Salamander K'rule. Salamander made his first appearance in Jungle Action Volume 2, Issue 15. He was one of the Wakandan agents working alongside Eric Killmonger in his first attempt to overthrow the king. I think we'll get this villain in some capacity soon. His main weapon is a bow and arrow. It looks pretty cool. Oh, explosive bow and arrows, that is. Similarly to Wolverine and his adamantium-infused bones, Salamander is a vibranium mutate, whose body is covered in these horrible blisters which have toxin-covered razor-sharp pins that poke through and squirt and get all over your nice shirt. Vibranium is literally flowing through him, so he can certainly hold up on his own during hand-to-hand combat. This guy throws vibranium thorns. I wouldn't get remotely close to Salamander K'rule ever. Number 6. Nighthawk. Tilda Johnson made her first appearance in Captain America 164. As a child, Tilda knew she was a genius. She acted like a crazy normal kid to try and blend in, but really she had extensive genetics, cybernetics, and physics down when she was just 16. All that knowledge in that little brain. She turned to crime because she thought that was the fastest way to get out. She wasn't having an ideal living scenario. When she was 18, Yellowclaw met her and helped her develop an alias called Deadly Nightshade. And in Black Panther Volume 2, Issue 16, Nightshade teamed up with other villains to attack Black Panther. Number 5. Frederick Kiber. Making his first appearance in Black Panther issue 11, aka Kiber the Cruel, he was once not so cruel, really. He was rather just a scientist who was obsessed with teleportation. He disappeared, ironically, he disappeared from all of his friends and family, and he just took off for the mountains near the South Atlantic Ocean. He was out of there. He was assisted by numerous androids because Yeah, supervillains, you know? The island became known as Kiber Island, and Frederick was 30, flirty, and thriving all by his lonesome. That is until he was involved in an accident that changed his life forever. What? That never happens to any of these guys. What happened? The matter transmitter bonded Frederick's body to the lab's floor. Yeah, he became one with the room in a disgusting Jumanji type way, just half his face coming out of the ground. He became a humanoid shaped protoplasm. He also hungered for immortality and needed to absorb the consciousness of others. Great. Kiber kidnapped Black Panther's cousin Kanata in order to get the king's attention, and what do you know, it worked, and when he showed up, the androids got him and then teleported him back to Kiber's lair. Black Panther figured out where Kiber was in the ground and then stepped on him. No, he didn't. Basically, kind of. He grabbed Kanata's life energy that was stored in an energy globe and then just left Kiber to starve because he has no souls to suck. Number 4, Princess Zanda, not Princess Zelda. Once the ruler of Nairobia and a member of the Collectors, Zanda first appeared in Black Panther issue 1 and came into conflict with T'Challa over a pair of mystical brass frogs. You know those classic arguments about those mystical brass frogs? Are they frogs? Nice. She held them as prisoner afterwards and blackmailed him to help her find more precious artifacts. She was obsessed. She was even threatening to bomb Wakanda if he refused. So Black Panther of course helped one of the Collectors, Abner Little, find this water skin. It grants eternal life, all that cool jazz. Pretty sweet find if you ask me. But when T'Challa was marrying Storm later in the comics, she got so jealous she came to New York and started spending crazy amounts of money, just hucking usher bucks all around town, just telling everybody that she's actually marrying T'Challa, which is a hot-faced lie, or a hot bull-faced lie. Is a bull-faced frog lie? I don't know. Storm literally came in and blew her away. She was like, nope, problem solved, not on my wedding day, bye. Number 3, WindEagle. Hector Santiago Ruin came around in Jungle Action Volume 2 back in 1976, issue 24. He had a rough childhood, as most of these guys do, and in turn he became a criminal. He joined a gang and would rob places just to get by. I mean, all these guys do this, like, just get a job, I don't know, work at Blockbuster for like 6 months. I don't know, meet some people, shake some hands, just try something else. He eventually got locked up, earned the ranking of model prisoner, so he was being good, he was on the good up and ups. He got on parole, but then he was found by the Dragon Circle and then things went back into danger zone. They had used this Wakandan technology that was used in the Falcon suit, so they wanted their own badass version to go against him, and now we have WindEagle in a cool suit. So when Black Panther was investigating the death of Angela Lynn, he was poking around the Dragon Circle, and that's when WindEagle attacked for the first time. This suit is pretty fancy. It allows for Hector to glide on wind currents thanks to the whole anti-gravity tech, and sleep gas would also come out of his wrists, but he would only use them to prevent others to get involved in a fight. He's a fair fighter, I kind of respect that. Okay. Number 2, Namor. He made his first appearance in Motion Picture Funnies Weekly issue 1 back in the late 30s. He's the king of the sea, and he's the king of Wakanda, so naturally there's going to be some sort of disagreements in the comics, both as Avengers and individual leaders. Wakanda and Atlantis have went to war multiple times, but why? Well, one of the bigger moments in comics was for sure during X-Men and Avengers, where both teams wanted to control the Phoenix Force. The Avengers saw danger in it, while the X-Men, on the other hand, believed that this Phoenix Force is the savior of mutant kind. The Phoenix Force ended up possessing Namor for a hot minute, and meanwhile the Avengers retreated to Wakanda to lick their wounds and figure out a plan. Namor found that Wakanda was holding all these Avengers, and then it leads to a full-on invasion. Super action-packed, great time. Where's Namor in the MCU? Can we bring him in? I feel like we should definitely bring him in, like, now. He should already be there. I don't know. Take your time though, it's good. They're doing alright. And finally, number 1, Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom, he is on the naughty list for pretty much every superhero for different reasons, and Black Panther is no different. Let's talk about him. Supreme leader for the Kingdom of Latveria, one of the most brilliant minds on the planet, and also one of the most powerful sorcerers. In Black Panther Volume 4, Issue 19, Victor showcases how well he's trained in combat. Doom's suit was depowered, but that didn't get in the way at all. He was able to beat T'Challa in hand-to-hand combat. That's nuts. All that training in Tibet sure came in handy. Even as a leader, Doom is a formidable villain. He once launched a full-on invasion upon Wakanda to get his hands on vibranium. The guy will do anything for power. Guys, those are 10 more powerful Black Panther villains, but before you go, feel free to drop us a comment down below. Let us know any other topics, themes, characters, hot gossip, anything you want to know. Just drop them below and we'll cover it. We'll probably get around to doing most of them, or we'll try at least. I've been your host, Taylor McWaters. You've been you. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time on Top 10 Nerd. See ya.